Hello, everybody. How you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is episode 149 of Online Marketing Moves. We're coming to you live from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. We are downstairs today. We're trying to make sure that this room doesn't have an echo. Last time I recorded, I was in the dining room when I was home, and it was a pretty bad echo. It sounded like I was in a tunnel. But anyway, today's going to be a short podcast. This is the evening edition of the podcast, okay? But today we're going to talk about You in 10,000 Hours now. It's a book by the great Malcolm Gladwell. If you haven't never read any of his books, you should check one or two out. It's pretty good material. But in one book, he talked about how you need 10,000 hours to get good at anything. And I bring this up because I had a conversation with my mother. She was talking to me about this, that, and the other. Then she asked me, she said, have you been doing the podcast lately? I said, yeah, I've been doing it. I said, I've been doing it. And then I brought up the fact, I said, I just got to work on improving things. I got to make things better. I got to make the sound better. I got to make the podcast better. I said, sometimes I sound kind of, and she said, sometimes you sound kind of choppy. I said, what? And she said, you sound kind of choppy. I said, yeah, that's true. I said, I'll give you that. And then she was like, but, she said, the material's good, though. I said, well, I appreciate that. She said, I just want to help. I said, of course. I said, I appreciate all, she's not being negative. She just, it's criticism, and it's perfectly fine because I want to get great at this. I want to be the best. Of course, I want to be the best, person. I want I want I want a lot of listeners. I want a lot of people to listen to this podcast. So I want this podcast to be top notch. And I know right now this is the early stages, and we have a long way to go till we get to 10,000 hours. We're probably around, I've probably done, we had 149 episodes. So it's got to be probably over 30 hours, 30 to 35 hours worth of material. So, we're quite not at 10,000 hours yet, but we are improving every day. And I just thought about that when I was talking to her. I said, oh, that's going to be a podcast episode. So yeah, you do have to be the best at anything, you have to improve. But before you can improve, you have to start. So I'm just here to tell you today that, yes, even though it's just like when you start doing YouTube videos, and you'll think they're bad, but they're not bad. It's just because it's new. It's something new to you. But just keep going, keep pushing forward, and keep doing it, and you'll get better. You'll get better, and you'll get better at anything. Trust and believe me when I tell you that. So definitely read one. I had to think about the book that talks about the 10,000 hours because I know I read it, but it's been a while. It's been a long time, and the last book I read about. I read it one of his books last year, but I can't think of it. I don't have any notes in front of me right now, so I'm gonna have to go back and check it out. But yeah, I'm just here to tell you. And don't worry about if you do upload videos, you make a podcast, whatever you do, you write stuff. Don't get offended by anybody that is constructive criticism. It's not a big deal, Now if they just flat out tell you, "Oh, you suck," you're never gonna get good. Then you don't care what they think anyway. But a lot of people will help you out. A lot of any kind of criticism, any kind of is always helpful. You know what I mean? Because you want to get better at this stuff. Just like as I just told you, I want this podcast to be the best. I want this podcast to be great. I want to eventually we're going to have, the sound quality is going to be, sound quality sometimes it goes up, it goes down. It's not quite where I want it, but we're gonna have it crisp. We're gonna have the whole show notes. We're gonna have the whole thing. But it's just gonna take time. It's practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. Allen Allison might not want to practice, but you and I need to practice. We need to get those. I don't know. I don't know if it have to be 10,000 hours, but you just want to get better, and you want to. Once you get started, you will have the desire to get better at whatever you're doing. Because trust and believe me, even when I'm talking, even when I'm thinking, even when I'm sitting here thinking about the podcast, I'm always thinking about what can I do to get better. Like now, that's the thing. It's like, what can I do to get better? What can I do to improve the podcast? Does the content need to be better? Does the content need to be longer? Does it need to be? It's like what do I need to do? And it's all practice. It's putting in the work, putting in the effort. But I just want to tell you, don't get offended if somebody, critiques, comments, constructive criticism. It's okay. It's fine. People are here to help. So, that being said, get those, start now. Get those 10,000 hours under your belt, 10,000, 20,000 hours. I don't know. Just the more you do it, the better you'll get, and everything will work out. All right? That's it for the podcast. I got to get back to baking muffins. All right. Hope you enjoyed this short episode. Yeah, but don't worry about, people are here to help, people, if people have any kind of constructive criticism, if you let your friends and family in on you, whatever you're doing, and you let them listen or whatever, don't get all crazy if they have constructive criticism, They just talk crazy, then who cares anyway? If they like, oh, you suck, Nobody cares about that, But if they make good points, they make good points, And my mom, she had a couple of good points, so I'll take those, put them in the pile and keep getting better. With that being said, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow with another hard-hitting episode of Online Marketing Moves. My name is Tony Rizzano, and we will see you tomorrow. And as always, everybody, peace.